Okay, you want to pound out your bottom round steaks then. I like using a freezer Ziploc bag, even for my chicken. You don't have to keep changing it like you do with wax paper. It doesn't slide all around like with the plastic wrap. And you can keep reusing it and then throw it away when you're done. And it doesn't make a mess all over the counter. So you have to pound them out till, I'd say, about 1/8 of an inch thick. You don't want them to tear, but you want them as thin as you can get them. Now I'm making the filling for the brajol. Start off with some lean ground sirloin, or a lot of times I'll ask the butcher to just run some beef stew through the processor for me. It's sometimes more inexpensive and it's still very lean and very good. Just gonna add some garlic powder. I'm gonna say that was probably 3 teaspoons. Black pepper. I don't generally cook with salt. Some Italian seasonings. See, I'm bad about measuring. It's to my eye. I'm gonna say about 1½ teaspoons. I love this Italian seasoning. It's the best I've found. Adding some raisins. This is about 1/4 cup. I put some whole mozzarella, the softer one. I don't want to use fresh because it'll fall apart too much. And I just like to add this to some meatballs and my brajol just for some added moisture. I ground it up with some parsley. I'm gonna say that was probably a 1/2 cup. This was 2 pounds of ground sirloin to start with. And let's see, I need some toasted pine nuts we toasted yesterday. Maybe about a 1/3 cup. And some fresh grated Parmesan. Growing up in Miami, when I used to visit my father, he always took me to this little Italian hole-in-the-wall place in Hialeah called Fusaro's. I'm sure you all probably have heard of it. But if you knew Richie, you could call ahead and order brajol. He made the best brajol. It's so hard to get brajol anywhere. Well, eventually he got out of the restaurant business and became a consummate. But I knew him very well, so I gave him a call and asked him about the brajol. Not only did he give me the recipe for it, he came to help me make it, and I learned it from him. So this is Richie Fusaro's beef brajol. This is the garlic powder, flat leaf parsley that we ground up yesterday. This is how it looks. With arthritis, my hand gets cold in the meat, so making a mess everywhere. You just want to mix it very well, and we're going to press it down onto the steaks and roll it up. It's very important when you cook this in some spaghetti sauce, tomato sauce, that you don't have any meat in the gravy. The meat, having other meat in the gravy will not only like discolor the brajol, but it kind of changes the taste. You don't want to have any other meat And you can use it, I freeze it and use it again. I do not use it to go over pasta. You can if you like, but for me, cooking the meat in the gravy makes too much grease. I can't stand eating some pasta, and when it's all done, there's a film of grease on your plate. I don't like it. I cook my meat outside, drain it, put it on paper towels, press out all the grease, and then put it in the sauce. I don't like having heartburn, and I don't like a lot of grease. Alright, so that's pretty good. This is a good way to check your pine nut and raisin ratio. Looks pretty good. You can see the raisins, you can see the pine nuts. It sounds weird putting raisins in meat. You'll barely know they're there. They'll plump up, but it's just a good contrast with the pine nuts, and it really does flavor the brajol. Okay, we're gonna roll a piece of brajol. You see here, I got a little tear, so I'm gonna start it on this end. I need a big kitchen to cook in. You want to like flatten it out. To probably about an eighth of an inch, quarter of an inch, somewhere in between there. I always leave a little extra on the end, and you just roll. I have some butcher string here. All you have to do to get this is just ask Publix. Tell Publix you're making a bunch of beef brajols, and they'll cut you off some, and it's no charge. You want to tie it up because it's going to be cooking in sauce, so you don't want it to come open. And have all the ingredients fall out. Generally, two's enough unless you have a big fat brajol. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish rolling all of these, and then we'll continue. Oh. You're going to want to brown the brajol in some olive oil to help sear in all the juices, which you do whenever you cook something in a sauce, like in a crock pot or slow simmer sauce. So when these are finished, I'll drain them very well on paper towels and put them in the marinara sauce. I made a marinara sauce just for this. It has the spices and everything, but I won't use it for the pasta. I can freeze it, and I can reuse it just to cook meatballs in, or some more brajol. But the brajol will give off too much grease in the sauce to use it over pasta. Okay. I put the brajol in my crock pot, and I'm going to let it cook low and slow. The dinner is tomorrow night, so it can cook basically today and tomorrow morning, be fine. Not overnight though. But normally it'll cook fine in here. You want it so tender that it's like easy to slice, like butter, as my granddaughter says. The sauce will thicken, though, because of the cheese and stuff that we put in the brajol. If the sauce starts to get too thick, you can add a little water or chicken broth. The chicken broth will be fine. My mother, growing up, we never knew what kid was going to bring home who for dinner. So my mother always had pots of gravy, and if she had to make it go a little further, she added chicken broth to it, which makes it taste really good. It's just like if you were cooking chicken cacciatore, I guess, so it won't hurt your sauce. So if you ever need to extend your tomato sauce or thin it out, you can add some chicken broth.